Now, before I get into the incredible lore and gameplay mechanics of Dragon Ball Online that I wanted to return, there is one thing that Dragon Ball Project Age 1000 needs to have to be a perfect, and I mean perfect, continuation of Dragon Ball Online. And that are these amazing opening cutscenes that they have. I don't know who cooked these up, but these are absolutely fantastic. I'm sure you've already seen the one I'm playing on screen right now, where it's the nameless Namekian, the nameless Saiyan, both fighting in the world tournament. But bro, this cutscene is absolute cinema. It starts off with us seeing them both on their journey, working hard, trying to get through it. We see their squad, got a swordsman, got a Crane's little girl, a Majin in there, amazing. Then it cuts to them getting ready for the tournament. They're looking at each other, having a stare off, but it's friendly. You can tell these are amazing rivals. Then we see them both walking to the tournament stage. Their squad and the other MC squad is also just watching them, you know what I'm saying, hyping them up on some friendly stuff. Amazing group, by the way. This is a cool, like, replacement Z-Fighter group. Then the tournament stare-off. We have the announcer still here. How old is this nigga, by the way? But they get ready for their battle stances, and bro, this is just one of the greatest Dragon Ball cutscenes of all time, bro. This is definitely better than any other Dragon Ball game cutscene, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is just amazing. And eventually, these dudes go Super Saiyan, and the Namekian goes red-eyed Namekian, which is the first time we've ever seen that. I mean, this cutscene is incredible! Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna stop tweaking. My bad. But listen, that's one of the cutscenes. The other one is the more story-focused Age 1000 cutscene of Dragon Ball Online, where it just shows the other main character group, and it's literally just going through the world of Dragon Ball Online, showing us all the new things, the new races that are populating Earth, and just all the amazing adventures. And this one really has the feeling of an early Dragon Ball adventure type of story, and I love that. I love the fact that Dragon Ball Online can have both the titanic battles of Dragon Ball Z, Super Saiyan's gigantic energy blast, but also just the simple things, little kids going around fighting dinosaurs. That is so cool. Also, I'm gonna say this right now to make this very clear. I do not want Project Age 1000 to be a literal just continuation of Online, just like literally Online 2. No, I don't want that. First of all, Dragon Ball Online was built to be a continuation of the end of Z. Dragon Ball Project Age 1000 is definitely going to be something that's post-Super, so a lot of lore that Dragon Ball Online had won't really fit the same way with a Dragon Ball Super timeline. So a lot of stuff they're going to have to kind of reimagine, and I really hope they reimagine almost everything to really make it kind of feel kind of new. But there's a lot of concepts I hope they keep. We have Krillin making a new Turtle Hermit school that focuses on using techniques that are able to support one's allies. We have Tien making a new Crane school that focuses on using really OP key techniques like the Neo Tri-Beam so humans can defeat way stronger enemies. Goten and Trunks make an entire key sword fighting school. We have Gohan writing a book called The Science of Ki Control, which informs the entire Earth about Ki and about superpowers. And with the help of Bulma, Pan is able to create an entire VR battle network where people can have virtual reality battles. And that might be what we saw in the trailer. This might be Pan's VR fighting network. There's also the World Tournament, which is completely different in Dragon Ball Online. There isn't just the youth and adult divisions, there's also 1v1s, team battles, but coolest of all, there's something called the Ultimate Fighting Division where people can use weapons, armor, even robot mechs. And you may be thinking, really? Robot mechs? Yes, in this timeline, because the people of Earth are constantly being invaded by the Frieza Force, Bulma made something called the World's Greatest Science Exhibition. So key enhancing technology is constantly being refined and upgraded in this universe, so even a regular person can fight against the Frieza Force. And of course, actual warriors and fighters can use this technology to upgrade themselves even further. And I love this because in Dragon Ball Online, there are so many different types of ways for Earthlings to become stronger and upgrade themselves so they can actually fight against these overpowered aliens and demons. Dragon Ball Online planned for there to be 3 types of Earthling classes, with the martial artists, the spiritualists, and the engineers. Also, I could definitely see the human engineering class somehow being translated into androids in Project Age 1000. There's also the Majins, which, as I'm pretty sure you already know, were created from Boo and his wife, and they have the combat and support roles too. And one of the things I really do hope they bring over into Project Age 1000 is the Majin amusement park, where most of the Majins live and work at. And just having an awesome Majin amusement park would really make this world feel like its own. Then there's the Namekians that are also on Earth in Dragon Ball Online because Mirror destroyed their home planet. And first of all, we gotta talk about that right now. This fraud, bum, bitch loses to Ace in Xenoverse 1, loses to Bond in Xenoverse 2 after absorbing a timeline egg, and what does he do? This nigga gets a off-screen dub on random civilians! This nigga sucks! Now, I don't know if they're gonna keep the mirror destroying New Namek as a storyline, but what they need to keep is the Namekian Civil War. Oh my god, Dragon Ball Online was cooking, bro. Listen, eventually some of the Namekians are corrupted by Demon King Piccolo's evil, and there's an entire dark Namekian faction called the Narok, and they have a leader called Gamelon, and it gets way deeper. First of all, the dark Namekians are capturing regular good ones and mind controlling them and turning them evil. The Dark Namekians have an evil Corrin's tower and a evil Corrin. The Dark Namekians are planting evil senzu beans to use. The Dark Namekians have an evil eternal dragon called Mr. Poco Poco. And this is the goof that lets us know that Toriyama was low-key giving them some W ideas, bro. Cause who comes up with this silly bro? But it gets deeper. The Dark Namekians are actually also working with the Time Breakers, and eventually, after the Dark Namekians lose, Gamelon is betrayed and killed by his subordinate that is working for the Time Breakers, which would be a W plot twist. That sounds awesome for a story mode. There's more, like Emperor Pilaf, no, not Emperor Pilaf. Emperor Pilaf trying to become the king of the world. We have the Red Pants Army, which, listen dude, this would make for some amazing early Dragon Ball shenanigans, bro. We have world tournaments. We have Emperor Pilaf. We have the Red Ribbon Army reborn. Come on! Then, when our characters become adults, we can deal with the stronger threats like the Dark Namekians and the Time Breakers. The new Frieza Force and all the really overpowered guys they could have on their side. And also we can spin back around to the Red Pants Army because they also create androids. And one of the most popular androids they made was Cell X. Yes, Dragon Ball Online is the origin of Cell X, and it is really gross and disgusting, and we have Cell Max, so I kind of really don't care about that. But Dragon Ball Project H1000 can create new, really cool androids. This is all just really cool stuff that Dragon Ball Online did that they can take and redo to make it even better and fit in a modern Dragon Ball Super timeline. But also, there's a lot more they can add. Imagine future DLCs where we meet Beerus, go to other universes, Universe 6 vs 7. Imagine a Dragon Ball Online Tournament of Power. That would be insane, but also, we live in a post-Daima world where we have a canon Toriyama-approved version of the Demon Realm. Imagine an entire DLC expansion into the Demon Realm, kind of like Dragon Ball Kakarot gave us. And speaking of demons, I really wonder what races will be in this game. I mean, I have to imagine we're at least going to have the races that were in Dragon Ball Online, being the humans, the Namekians, and the Majins. But will we have Frieza race like Dragon Ball Xenoverse gave us? Are we going to have demons? Now, even if we don't get the Frieza race or demons, I will be fine with that as long as they really go all in on this universe and the CSC races we do have. The Majins and the Namekians deserve to have all the amazing transformations and techniques they have put into this game. And if they want to, they could always add more races in this game with potential DLC expansions. Imagine the first big DLC expansion is us going into space and fighting on other planets, kinda similar to the Bardock DLC in Dragon Ball Kakarot, and we could get the Frieza race in that DLC expansion. They could do the exact same thing with the Demon Realm, and we could get the Demon Realm race in that expansion. But that is kind of future stuff that has nothing to do with Dragon Ball Online itself, and there is still a lot of stuff in Dragon Ball Online they can add. I forgot to mention how some Yardrats now live on Earth and act as a transportation service. But we really have to understand just how deep and how amazing Dragon Ball, just how amazing Dragon Ball Online story is, dude. Long story short, there are a lot of amazing things from Dragon Ball Online. I hope they kind of reuse and reimagine to make it even better for Project H1000. But again, with this new game, I hope they add a lot of new stuff to really make this feel like their own amazing, brand new interpretation of the H1000 Dragon Ball storyline. But if you do want to know more about the original Dragon Ball Online storyline, I will have multiple videos linked in the description below, and I'm telling you, my favorite one is by Nerdzilla. That dude be cooking up some W content. Please check that video out and check out the rest of his other videos too. But that is pretty much the end of this video. I will be making more H1000 content like soon. I'm gonna start working on my next video right now. I will catch you guys later. God bless. Keep doing your best. I'm doing my best too, and I will catch you guys later.